Hey guys, Martin here bringing a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today I am carrying on with a challenge that we have been trying in the Festival of Battles. When I did my very first attempt on the day it came out, I tried using this team with the Double Glorio leads, and then while I was doing the World Tournament Weekend special event, I know our boy Raudo had an attempt while I was grinding the tournament. We were watching along in the Discord using the Double Glorio leads. Obviously the first time around, the idea behind the team is, of course, you know, everyone else is still the stackers. We get to run the Tech Gohan, who can get up to some pretty crazy numbers. Glorio obviously does get the sort of little permanent stack with each super that he does, as well as, you know, massively increasing his defensive capability during the turn with each super that he does. But he is the one that kind of ends up being a little bit of a liability. And I think we got to this phase when I had that first attempt and then lost due to the turn counter. So basically we've got back up to this point again, and it's just a case of seeing if we can indeed get through to the very end with the Double Glorio leads. Now the problem is, whilst we can, and I'm sure at this point, like I said many times, if anyone knows of like someone, I guess a video could still be edited, but like a live stream VOD or something where someone has actually done like a legit no items run with without using the like scouter check and then like reset the app thing, I don't know. But the thing is with that is, even using it in this run, the thing that can be the problem is if we do check where the super attack is and then it's in slot 3 against Glorio, then we've only got two options, and that is we leave him in slot 3 and hope that that dodge chance comes in clutch and he dodges, because he does have an 80% chance to dodge by the time he's gotten all of his attacks off. But that means we are leaving the fate of our entire run up to that 20%. Like if it 20% chance he doesn't dodge, and then we just lose our entire run, right? So it's risky. Or the other option, of course, is we then don't put him in slot 3, but then that means the rotation doesn't get the support. Linking will obviously be awkward, because in the middle he won't really link with the other units on the team. And then of course the other big issue is, depending on what the previous rotation was, if we floated off the other Glorio on the rotation before, we're then going to end up with a double Glorio turn, which is definitely not what we want, because then we have a second turn where one of the Glorios has to not be in slot 3. The one that's in slot 3 will then not have any links active. And in terms of in these later stages where the enemies have so much HP, that would potentially just be instant GG, like if he's if we've got a rotation with double Glorio. So we kind of have to commit to Glorio always being in slot 3, otherwise I just don't think we'd actually be able to get through the phase, right? So we'll see what we can do. Obviously not crazy damage on this first turn. I mean, Glorio can build up, like by the time he's doing this attack, right, and doing like 40 mil, that's not too bad. Although, as you can see, like if he doesn't crit, it's not like he's doing huge damage. He should still at this point be able to tank normals once he's done all of his attacks, so that's not a huge issue. But I mean, we can see here from the amount of damage that we've done in that first turn, this is the point where we're going to have to transform these guys. I have been stacking them for a very long time and gotten all the way up to this point without having to transform them. So I think this is probably about where we're going to do that. The Tech Gohan is decently high up at this point, but obviously could still use a little bit more. And of course, he's not supering on this turn. What do his normals do? 3.7. So yeah, you can tank those. So yeah, we're going to have to do this. I don't know if we like transforming Gohan here is awkward, because he is obviously not going to get that buff from being hit first, and if we transform him now, it's kind of feels like a bit of a waste. So we'll go ahead and do this. I mean, this is one of the other problems with this event, as there are many of them, but there are some of these phases as you get later into the fight with a turn like this where we've got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on the rotation, where if he's not supering, then we've potentially just lost, because that super counter gives us the opportunity to do so much extra damage. But it all depends what these guys do here, because Goku's obviously been stacking up. We did the typical transform him against the In Future Trunks on turn 5, phase 5, and so he's been stacking for quite some time. Obviously getting him to super attack first means that everybody gets some cheese. 157 million for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and that's wild. Because yeah, he has had a lot of stacks, and that's the thing, the double Glorio support is obviously providing a huge amount. The additional doing 123 is kind of wild. This is one of those situations where I really need him to do like a third super if we want to clutch up and make sure we're going to get the W here. Even then, the next turn could be risky, because that's the problem with Glorio, is even though he builds up to the bigger numbers, like, he's not providing a huge amount of damage. In fact, to be honest, unless, I mean, Gohan could obviously get like the quad super turn here, but even then I don't know if that's going to be, yeah, especially if he's not critting, like, he's not doing a lot of damage. Yeah, I don't know if we, this is going to be another one of those situations where we actually just can't win with this setup. Going down to 4 bars of HP, but that means that with the amount of HP he has 900 million health, right? So that means each of his health bars is like 90 million. In order to actually kill him on this turn, we would have to get the, these guys would have to do such a ridiculous amount of damage. Having them in their defensive forms is probably not going to be the way to go, but obviously if he supers, depending on where he supers, we could just be dead. Because what is it, you get guard, and it's only guard in slot 2, and this guy supers for like 12 million, so post supering he might be okay. Goku in slot 2 gets 20% damage reduction, doesn't have guard, but that puts the guard, I think, cuts the damage reduction, the damage down by more than 20%. I'm not really sure, but the thing we'd have to do here, obviously, is we now have to check and see where the super attack is. If the super's in slot 1, which it is, so yeah, we've just lost now, basically, because the super's in slot 1. So the only way to survive the super in slot 1 is to have one of the 10-year units be in their defensive form. And so, therefore, they're not going to do, like, a crazy amount of damage. And then, yeah, Glorio's not going to do a huge amount. I guess it was the... was it the very first... I should have double-checked. If it was the very first attack of the turn, I guess it could use the Glorio active skill, which also does a little bit of extra damage. Not a lot, but it'll do a little bit of extra damage, and it takes away the super attack, because then that means that these guys, his normals do 3.7 million, so these guys would be perfectly fine to tank normals. I'm just gonna have to check it again just to make sure. Is it the first attack? Because he's attacking twice in slot 1. It is the first attack of the turn. Okay. Well, maybe. That's our only hope at this point. So we've got to use one of the Glorio active skills and then have both the 10 years in their offense form. But even then, I don't know if it's going to be enough. They've been stacking offense for quite a long time. We've still got the buffs from having the Glorio supports. Although, of course, we didn't have Glorio on the previous turn. We've got the 3-turn 1 active from the one before. So, I don't know. It's going to be... interesting to see, because the thing is with Glorio's leader skill, you can't have the gods as well. So obviously the 4s, once they've transformed, they now go crazy. This would obviously be a great time to transform the gods if we had them on the team, right? So you've got 4.8, you've got 4.7, so yeah, I guess we put you in slot 1. If we grab those for you, gives you 24 key. That gives you 24 key. So, I mean, yeah, this is basically the only chance we've got. So, let's go ahead and do this. Use the active skill. Yeah, so not exactly crazy damage, but here we go. Can we get the W here? Because this is, of course, the next phase is the Daima Boys phase, but at least we'd have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on turn 1, which means we have him on turn 1 and turn 3. So... but we need these guys, like, the 10 years basically need to get, like... okay, yeah, no, we can't win. I was going to say, they need to get, like, triple super turns, all crits, and, like, each of their supers needs to be doing basically, like, an entire bar of his HP. But you can see from the amount of damage that they're doing that that's not going to be the case. Man, the worst part is, as we said, when we talk about this event and how annoying it could be, how long it's taken to get up to this point. And the funny thing is, none of the phases before this were close. Like, there wasn't even like Beast. We obviously have Tech UI before this phase, Fat Boo before him. None of those phases we got to like the third and final turn, and I wasn't sure whether we were going to win. So this run was going really, really well. And then, yeah, we get to this point, and there we go. So, yeah, who knows? Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that this team is actually going to be capable of winning the event? I think the big problem is Glorio himself, right, not having crazy damage output. Because if we were running the usual team that everyone uses to beat the event, right, is like the 2 10 years as the leaders, whether you're using double Vegito or you have Gogeta as your lead, Vegito on the team, and then like a Vegito friend, is obviously all of your units on the team are contributing like big damage. Like the 2 Glorios, I mean, you can see with how much HP he's got left. If the Glorio, if even one of the Glorios was like another one of the 10-year LRs, then we would have done enough damage to kill him. Whereas obviously we don't quite have that damage. I mean, that shows you how insane it is, how much HP this guy has. The turn where Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta did 150 odd million into multiple 120 million additional supers, and that still wasn't enough to finish him off. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think down below. We'll be live on stream tonight doing some more Festival Battle stuff, looking at some potential challenges and teams and things like that. But man, even with all of that stacking, I think that's as high as I've seen Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta actually get up to in some of these runs. But yeah, it just wasn't enough. I could have put Tech Gohan in slot 1 on that rotation, so that he got his attack buff, but having Super Saiyan 4 Goku in slot 1 to give the massive buff to Gogeta, I felt like was probably the way to go. And yeah, the fact that he survived with just about 2 bars of HP is very unfortunate. That would have been a good setup to go into the Daima Goku and Glorio with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on turn 1, but it is what it is. So far I've not seen any like clears with the without the 7-year, like without the 10-year setup as leads. I think, to be honest, I don't know if I'd actually changed my items over from whatever we were last doing, potentially even from the World Tournament, because I guess that phase would have been a great opportunity to use an attack up item, and then potentially we would have been able to get through. So I guess we'll have to remember that for next time. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this team is capable of doing it? I mean, bear in mind, Goku has 900 million HP, and then the next phase is the Daima boys, and they both have 800 million HP each. So that amount of damage that we did to Goku, the fact that he had 2 bars of HP left, that means we probably did about 800 million worth of damage in the 3 turns, but we have to do that twice in the Daima phase. So really your only real hope is the super attack counters from Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which again, on that turn where we transformed and got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta out, if he'd been supering on that turn and Gogeta was actually able to counter the super, because we've had a few times where it's whiffed, right? If he'd been able to counter a super on that second turn, we would have won, because his super attack counter does a considerable amount of damage. Maybe not if it was in slot 1, I guess, but it still would have been quite powerful. If it was after Gogeta attacks, obviously if it's the first attack after he attacks, he cancels it out, which is really annoying. But yeah, if we'd been able to get a super attack counter in, we would have won. Potentially attack up items, we would have won there as well. So bit of a fumble on my part as well, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see me try this again? Obviously, you know, I start the video from a bit later in the event because the middle part is all just boring stacking and stacking and stacking. But you know, I really thought with how we hadn't struggled in the phases before that we were potentially going to get there. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.